Welcome to another episode of Hustle Basketball Talk. I'm joined today by professional forward DeVaughn Akoon-Purcell. DeVaughn, thank you so much for joining the show.
Man, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, bro, of course. So to start off, growing up in Orlando, Florida, what was the basketball scene like for you, and at what age did you start falling in love with the game?
For me, I mean, I started around like 5 or 6 years old, but didn't really get competitive until like more middle school,
Okay.
middle schoolish. I believe I started to pay for like smaller AAU travel teams that would just travel throughout Florida,
Yeah.
which was pretty good. And then later on in my high school career is when I got on more of the big time travel teams. I think I played for Dwight Howard's AAU team my sophomore year.
Okay.
So we were Adidas and we traveled. And then my junior year, I played for Each One Teach One.
Okay, nice, bro. And then, as you develop, right, and you're playing that AAU ball, what was the recruiting process like for you coming out of high school? And then what led you to ultimately go the JUCO route over in Oklahoma?
Right. So I actually reclassified and did an extra year and went to
Okay.
a prep school. And I actually wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. I believe the only school that I had an offer from was Ole Miss at the time.
Yeah.
But wasn't really familiar or educated on how college basketball or any of that stuff worked.
Yeah.
I just was athletic and could play.
Yeah, most kids that
Um,
age don't know. I mean,
right. So after college, I mean after high school, I just was curious of how things would work, and I
yeah,
didn't pass like the clearinghouse stuff because I did it too late, so I wasn't able to go to a Division 1 school.
mhm,
So I was just going to like these little junior college camps and stuff around Orlando, and this college coach in Oklahoma was like, he wants me to be on their team. Like I'll be the star of the team because he saw
yeah,
me at the camp, and I'm like, huh, okay. And then he flew me to Oklahoma. I went on a visit. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible school,
yeah,
place, everything. But he brought me to an OKC game, and KD was like, I was the biggest KD fan at the time,
yeah,
and we had perfect seats. And I was like, oh, if I'm this close to OKC, I'll just come down here every chance I can get. He hooked me
yeah,
up with the people to get tickets, so I just committed
that's awesome.
just because of that. And then I went there, and the rest is history.
For sure, bro. That's a good time to be, seeing OKC games too when they had Russ and Harden and Katie and all those
Man,
guys.
that was crazy. I actually remember it was the playoff game against the Spurs when KD dunked on Tim Duncan baseline. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
that's awesome, bro. That's like once in a lifetime, bro, to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. And then after, a couple successful seasons there, what was the recruiting process like coming out of that school and then ending up at Illinois State in the Missouri Valley?
Right. So that's when the recruiting got super serious.
Yeah,
I was basically recruited by everybody except for Kentucky and Duke.
yeah,
I had schools coming in crazy. Not my freshman year, but my sophomore year
okay,
is when the schools really started to like pop up for me. Um, and at that time I had like a manager,
yeah,
like a family friend, which was a manager, and he was basically giving me his input on what route I should take. So we decided to pick two high major schools and then three mid majors. I believe they were USC and Auburn, and then I had Rhode Island, Illinois State, and I forget the fifth one.
yeah.
But I actually went to Illinois State and canceled the rest of the visits.
Oh, wow. Okay. Committed on your visit?
Committed on the visit,
Yeah.
locked in, and then um, went to
Yeah.
Illinois State and did my thing there.
That's awesome, bro. And yeah, after, playing at Illinois State, what was your experience like playing in the Valley, being an all conference player?
It was good. My junior year, I believe, was a lot more fun than my senior year.
Yeah.
I think I just played a little bit more free and like had more fun with it. I did break my hand that season
Mm,
and missed a few games, but I came back, finished strong. I got newcomer of the year that season,
nice.
and then came back my senior year, and I just had an up and down season my senior year for
Yeah.
whatever reason, and didn't enter the draft. So after college, I actually didn't even know what it would be like as a professional basketball player after college. So
Yeah.
when I graduated, I started to work for like a moving company. I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
really?
I was still working out, so I was working out every day. I go to work at like 6 a.m. for this moving company and be working all day, get off, go to the gym, and just was repeating that. And then I had hired an agent through that family friend of mine,
Yeah.
and he got me a job in Denmark. And once I got that, I never looked back.
For sure, bro. That's crazy, man. Like you didn't even really, see yourself, going the route you did, and now here you are, right? Years
Yeah.
later. So, once you were, working for that moving company, you get the agent, and then you end up signing the deal in Denmark. Your whole world changes, right? What was that experience like going to Denmark and then not, just having a rookie season, but having an extremely successful rookie year, leading the team in scoring, winning a championship and winning MVP?
It was great, man. I mean, I didn't know that that's what was ahead of me at all. I mean, I got there and just took advantage of what was in front of me,
Yeah.
and I put the work in. I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah.
And it turned out great. I actually did 2 seasons at Bakken,
Yeah.
and broke a ton of records there, and obviously was the first person to go to the NBA from Denmark, which will always be something that I would always remember for sure.
For sure, bro. Yeah, that's dope, right? After having two amazing seasons there, breaking records, what did it mean for you then to, go to the summer league with the Nuggets and then ultimately sign a deal with them and play some games in the NBA?
It means a lot. I mean, my childhood dream was always to, play in the NBA, but I obviously didn't know what it took to get there or what
Yeah.
it was like to be in there. So, it was all a surprise when I did actually get in that situation.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro. And through that experience, what did you really learn that it meant to like be a pro? Like what was like the biggest learning curve that you had to, kind of adjust to?
Um, I think the main thing that stood out to me was how the veterans are in the NBA. I
Yeah.
mean, when I got there, like for an example, if they say practice is at 10 o'clock, I would have shown up at like 9:30 or 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
and Jokic been in there since 7. He
Yeah.
already lifted, he already got treatment, he already got in the cold tub, he got a massage, like, and I'm like, oh snap! Like if he's doing that, like I need to, tighten up.
Right, right, for sure.
So I think that was like the biggest thing
Yeah.
for me.
That's awesome, bro. And then after having that NBA experience, you go back overseas and also spend some time in the G with the OKC Blue. So you gotta, and you play preseason with the Thunder. So you kind of gotta live that dream too, right? Of, joining that
Most
organization.
definitely. That
Um,
was also a good experience. I was there with Chris Paul and those guys, and
that's
it was pretty
awesome.
much the same. It was pretty much the same thing. When you
Yeah.
come in, you'll see that Chris Paul has been in there since 5:30,
Yeah.
6 in the morning. It's like, dang.
That's awesome, bro. And what was, the experience like going from right NBA overseas, NBA, and then you go back overseas, right? Playing in high level leagues.
When I went back overseas the first time when I left Denver, because I went from Denver back overseas, and then I came back to OKC.
Yeah.
I believe at that moment, I was kind of like on my high horse because
Yeah.
I was fresh out of the NBA, and I went overseas, with like a chip on my shoulder, as in like I'm really an NBA player. I'm just over here playing overseas for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So my biggest thing is to just always remain humble. So like now I obviously know I have like a balance between I just respect all basketball.
Yeah.
NBA, overseas, G League, Iran, Africa, it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
basketball is basketball, and you just got to respect the game no matter where you are.
For sure, bro. And what's the differences, you've seen on and off the court, playing in the different leagues?
Um, the NBA is obviously different. It's a total different lifestyle than what a professional basketball player has like overseas. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's like language barriers and different foods and um different cities, and
Yeah.
the travel's not the same. So it's a bunch of different things um as far as comparison. And then the style of play is very different.
Yeah.
It's very rough over here. I think that the NBA is more pretty,
Yeah.
and overseas is a little bit more rough.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that you just got to really embrace whatever situation you're in.
Right.
No situation is perfect, whether it's in the NBA or over here. You just gotta find your niche wherever you are, and
And kind of run
go
with it.
with it from
Right?
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I like how you said, right, like, you respect all basketball everywhere because there's definitely, right, talented players overseas that definitely could play in the NBA. And there's some guys in the NBA that, maybe they're there because they got some connections and they probably would be a better fit for an overseas team, right? So there's talent everywhere. And I think that's, important to remember, you got to stick to your own journey, and embrace the grind of whatever situation you're in. So,
Most definitely. I
yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And then, what's the off the court, living been like, for you? You've been overseas for, some years now. Like you're definitely a vet in the game. So, how do you, stay mentally sane while, being away from friends and family for a majority of the year, while also, performing?
I think now it's much easier because I have years under my belt.
Yeah,
Before, when I was younger, I used to feel like I needed to like be on the scene or like be with teammates every 2 seconds or go
yeah,
somewhere and be out and about. But now I'm just legit a homebody. Like I don't leave. I got a chef.
yeah,
I sit here and play the game. I watch Netflix. Like I don't really leave the house.
yeah,
And I think that just comes with time. Um, and also like who you have on your team. When you got cool Americans on your team, being
yeah.
an American over here, I think it makes it a lot easier.
Right.
Um, so and my teammates are pretty chill, so we all just honestly play Call of Duty
That's
together.
good.
There's three of us that play Call of Duty. As soon as we get out of practice, let's get on the game,
Yeah,
and it's pretty simple for us. I mean,
that's
life over
good.
here is it's not as hard as people may think it is.
Yeah,
Um, it's just all about mindset, honestly. What do
for
you want to
sure.
do?
For sure. And what advice would you give, to someone who's, about to take a professional route overseas and, they want to have a long, successful career?
Um, I think number one, obviously, believe in yourself, um, and understand that it's not going to be perfect, and you got to take the bad with the good, and good with the bad. Um, there's no perfect situation over here. Something's always going to be off.
Yeah,
So something's always going to be off. Something's going to rub you the wrong way, and you just sometimes got to bite your tongue and just do your job. That's
for
what that's
sure.
what you get paid for. And just believe in yourself. Go out there and do what you do. Put the work in, and you never know, bro. Like there's players over here that make tons of money and average 4 points.
Yeah,
So you just do your job, man. that's
for
that's all
sure.
I can really say. Do your job.
For sure, bro. And that's great life advice in general, right? Like, you're not always going to like what people got to say, but, you definitely got to observe it, take it with a grain of salt and bite your tongue sometimes, but just control what you can control, right?
That's
That's
that's one of my sayings right there, man. Control what you can control.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. And so, transitioning to off the court, right? When you're not practicing and you're not playing in the games, what do you enjoy to do? And, who are you when you're, not playing basketball?
Um, bro, I be chilling, bro.
Yeah.
I just got engaged this past summer, so
Nice.
obviously just talking to my fiance. She's not here at the moment, but
Okay.
we're usually on FaceTime probably 75% of the day.
That's awesome.
And then other than that, I'm playing Call of Duty or watching like EuroLeague games, NBA highlights.
Yeah.
Um, that's pretty much it, man. Talking to family back home every now and then.
That's great, bro. The simple life, bro, that keeps the mind happy. That's
Man, simple is the way. Trust me.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then, hooping from a young age, to now being a vet, what has been your favorite basketball memory so far?
Um, to be real with you, I've had many memories throughout my career, but just
Yeah.
being able to practice today is probably the best memory. And tomorrow is going to change, and the day after that is going to change. Just
Awesome.
just being able to have the opportunity to play, bro, is a blessing. I mean, I tore my Achilles last year,
Oh, wow.
so just coming back from that and being able to play basketball, like I appreciate the game and respect the game
Cool.
way much more now than
Yeah.
I did before. So
That's
my
good.
best memory was finishing practice healthy today, bro.
That's awesome. It's nice to be mindful, bro. And what was that recovery process like? That's not an easy, injury. So what was that like for you?
Not at all. So
Yeah.
I ruptured my Achilles March 23rd of 2022.
Yeah.
I had surgery in Istanbul, Turkey.
Okay.
I stayed there for about 2 months because I wasn't able to walk and couldn't really work out or anything. So it was perfect time to end the season. So I was around my teammates and stuff, which kind of made it pretty pretty easy for me.
Right.
And then as soon as I got home to Miami, I began the recovery process, which took like another 8 months,
Yeah.
like 7.5, 8 months.
Yeah.
Um, and I just took it day by day. It was definitely some rough days, but I was dedicated. Spent a lot of money
Yeah.
on taking care of my body and stuff during that time, like
Yeah.
with changing my diet and supplements and being up every day at 6 a.m., getting workouts in, 2 workouts a day,
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. But it wasn't easy at all. But I wanted to play again, so
That's awesome, bro. And
I
now
didn't I didn't want to be a statistic at all.
for sure, and you overcame that, and here you are, right? You're playing pro again at a high level, and what can we expect to see from you this season?
Um, I mean, no matter where I am, we're gonna win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Last year we lost in the finals, so it'll be great to get a championship this season.
Yeah.
And this year we actually have the opportunity to get two because they added a cup to our season. So hopefully two championships, man.
Yeah.
The stats and stuff at this point in my career, I don't really care about
Yeah.
averaging 20 or whatever the case may be. I just want to win games,
Yeah.
and as long as my teammates and the club is happy, that's really all that matters for me.
That's awesome, bro. And then, contributing to winning, what would you say your greatest strengths are, on the court to help contribute to that?
I think scoring,
Yeah.
I could fill up the stat sheet pretty easy. But just being a leader,
Yeah.
leading by example, the little things on the court, talking to everybody, making sure everybody's doing the right thing, and leading everybody and encouraging them to take certain shots and play defense, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Just being that leader, all around leader on the team.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's great. And then I like to end the show with, what's your why, right? What's your motivation every day to wake up and be the best person you could be?
I'll say my grandma.
Yeah.
She passed away when I was in junior college,
Mm.
and I think every day I work as hard as I do because of her.
Yeah.
And then obviously I have like my family, my fiance now, my parents, my brothers and sisters. I got people watching me, so
Yeah.
I just always try to be the best version of myself, day in and day out.
That's a great, purpose and, why right there, bro. So thank you for sharing that. And, thank you for being a part of this show, DeVaughn. It's been a pleasure having you on here.
Man, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me, man.